2 out of 3 falls.
For the first time ever on 2 out of 3 Falls podcast, the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, representing Uncrowned and Yahoo Sports, Ariel Helwani in the building. My man, how you doing?
What's up? What's up, guys? Thanks for having me. Appreciate it very much. It's an honor and a privilege. Thank you.
It's been a while, man. I know we had you on It's in the Game back in 2024, and I said I gotta get Ariel on for 2 out of 3. Whether it's a SummerSlam, Rumble, but now it's WrestleMania season. So you came on the greatest time of all, man. Thank you.
Yes, this is a great time. The road to WrestleMania. Interesting one this particular year. I'm sure we're going to talk about it. Yeah. But like I said, very happy to be on and appreciate the invite very much.
You can follow Ariel Helwani on all social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram at Ariel Helwani. Joined by also my man Terrence Watson at Lower East Scribe T. My man, how you doing?
I'm excited, man. You know what I'm saying? We appreciate you joining, Ariel. You know what I mean? I heard you're a little bit of a Bret fan.
A little bit.
Man, Austin 316 back there. I'm a large HBK fan, so let's go at it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, boy.
Okay.
That's crazy. Before we get into the whole Bret and Sean of it all, obviously we'll get into some WrestleMania stuff, maybe UFC, boxing, with Ariel this afternoon. But I'll start with this, man, because I woke up and I checked my phone and I'm seeing Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
The WWE Hall of Fame going along with Stephanie, AJ Styles, and Demolition. So right off the back, man, Rodman, NWO, Chicago Bulls, leaving the finals to go with NWO, hang out with them, Jay Leno, Malone, DDP, all that good stuff with Rodzilla. What do you make of Rodman getting that nod for the celebrity wing of the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, I don't mind it. That was an incredible run. The Malone stuff, the Jay Leno stuff, obviously very much a WCW character, if you will. But man, I remember watching the NBA finals in 90, was it 98? I think it was the 98 finals where him and Malone get tied up and Bob Costas is talking about how they're going to be on a wrestling pay-per-view. And I remember watching that as a wrestling fan and being like, wow, I can't believe Bob Costas on the NBA on NBC is talking about Rodman versus Karl Malone on WCW. I want to give a big shout out to my good friend Mark Ramundi, who wrote a fantastic book on the NWO that came out last year, I do believe. Say Hello to the Bad Guys. If you haven't read it, it's the definitive book on the NWO, on the making, the rise, the fall, everything in between. And there's a lot obviously on it, on, you know, the whole Rodman stuff. So the rise and fall of that as well. So feels like it's like fresh in my mind. Vegas seems like a good place to induct him. I know he had some good nights over in Vegas. So that seems like a proper place for him, way better than if it was Riyadh next year. So yeah, I don't hate it. I don't mind the celebrity wing. I know some people get upset about it all, but I think it's fun. It's a nice little pop. He'll speak for like 5 minutes. He had a great run. Shout out to him.
Yeah, our boy Mark did I know it's a great book. I did buy it. I have not gotten a chance to read it, but I think I'm going
to. You got to read it. You got to read it.
I'm going to, because I think before T chimes in, the fact that they probably brought Rodman in, one, to get the big name celebrity, people buy tickets and all that, but also down the pipeline is the actual 30th anniversary of the formation of the NWO coming this July. So it's like one aspect, damn, 30 years, but another aspect is like wow, what are like still relevant today with the NWO, and then you're bringing Rodman for Hall of Fame. So just 30 years of that stable just probably being the best stable of all time. It's like holy shit.
100%.
Yeah, it's true. Like I think what's interesting, I mean, listen, Rodman, Rodzilla, whatever we want to call it, from the NWO. I remember, like you said, Ariel, as a kid, like just like being like, what is Dennis Rodman doing here? Like, it didn't make sense, but it also made all the sense at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, if there was like a sports figure at the time who like could have been in the NWO and like somehow given it even more legs, it was definitely Dennis Rodman. You know what it makes me think about the most right now is like the omission of Cyndi Lauper. I don't know if you guys have seen that like on Twitter, but it's been a big part of the conversation of like, yo, how is she not in? You know, given like really when you think about it, she was the bridge between pop culture and wrestling. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know if there was like some sort of like tension. I've never heard that. Maybe there was, maybe there's not. But like, it just feels like a real big miss. You know, like she's still here. It's an opportunity to educate the younger fans.
Yeah,
and even like celebrate it for those of us who like either lived it or remember it. You know.
I couldn't agree more. You know, sometimes when it comes to the WWE Hall of Fame and the UFC Hall of Fame as well, we like to say first ballot Hall of Famer, but there are no ballots. This isn't the Baseball Hall of Fame or the Basketball Hall of Fame, Football Hall of Fame, etc. It's just decided by the company. So there is no ballot, there's no voting, and sometimes relationships dictate whether you're in or out. I mean, I could do 2 hours on the UFC Hall of Fame and all the people that aren't in that one, because of relationships and strained relationships. And it shouldn't be about that. It should be about your body of work, your legacy, your resume, but we know that's not the case. I got to be honest with you. I didn't realize Cyndi Lauper wasn't in there. Cyndi Lauper is the definition of a first ballot Hall of Famer. Like she should have been in there 20 years ago. To your point, I mean, like the rock and roll wrestling era and all that stuff, MTV, Captain Lou, WrestleMania 1, MSG, like that is the no-brainer of all no-brainers. I have never heard that they have a strained relationship. I wonder if maybe she doesn't want to go in. I don't know. That's the only thing that I can think of, because she was so instrumental and so much has been written and said about how big it was for her to be involved, and girls just want to have fun, and having Captain Lou involved, like she really did help take this business to another level. So yeah, that is crazy. I don't think just because she's not in, Rodman can't be in, or other celebrities. But yeah, as far as like true celebs who deserve to be in there, she's at the very, very top of the list. And it's unfortunate that she's not.
For sure. I just want to chime in on that real quick, Randy.
Go ahead.
For sure, I totally agree. It wasn't a takeaway from Rodman. Like,
I get it.
Deserves.
No,
but it's just like, it's crazy that like someone like her who, you know, like you said, like brought in like that pop culture aspect, you know, like, you know, to me, like she's the reason why, you know, Andy Warhol like was awkwardly backstage. Like, you know what I mean? Like she brought in like the people at the time. And even she actually had a hand too in women's wrestling. I forget the exact match. Like so pardon me, but like she had someone represent her, I think like against like Fabulous Moolah. You know what I mean?
Is it Wendy Richter?
I believe it was, you know what I'm saying? Like, and she was like, you know, ushering in like an early version, you know what I mean? Like some of the foundation of what we get now, you know what I mean? So like really when you look at like how far her like influence permeates, for her not to be in is just, it don't make no sense. Come on, Trips.
One more thing on the Hall of Fame before we move on. Last year they inducted the match between Bret and Austin, WrestleMania 13, which makes 29 years by the time this comes out this Monday, the 23rd. So 29 years for that match. But what do we think about this year? They got to induct a moment or match. Ariel, what moment or match do you feel like they should go with, because Stone Cold and Bret got in last year?
Damn. I mean, there's so many to choose from, because that was the first, right? So that was the first match to go in. I mean, just because you mentioned HBK earlier, I was thinking of their Iron Man match, but are you going to put Bret back in again? I don't know about that. Razor and HBK, the ladder match. That's one of the most famous matches of all time. I'm just going off top of my dome, like Foley and Taker, but Foley's on the outs with the company now, so I don't think that he would want to be in Hell in a Cell. Maybe the ladder match. Maybe that's the one.
But I think they would want someone who's still alive to be on that stage. So
I mean, HBK's there, and they want to honor their guy. I don't know how much that goes into it. Maybe, but there's a lot of dudes, unfortunately, who aren't here. So I don't think you can just limit it to that, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I was thinking Shawn and Taker, but I think Taker's been on TV quite a few times, where it won't feel like
maybe they could turn the tables on him, because he's the one that's making the announcements, right? He's the one that's going to Stephanie and AJ and being like, "You're in." He's kind of like that guy who shows up to the Football Hall of Famers' house and tells them that they're going to Canton. So maybe they could turn the tables on him and say like, "Yo, you're going in again.
We got you now."
Yeah.
Yo, imagine Shawn and full Taker regalia pulling up on Mark.
Imagine
and
that.
Like, yo, you're going in, and we're going in together.
What matches you have or moments you have, T, that could be the next one up for the Hall of Fame?
Oof. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. I'm 100% going, Shawn versus Razor. I feel like that's like a seminal moment in wrestling. Like that changes so much. You know what I mean? It brings a ladder match in, which then brings, TLC matches, right? Like, and I feel like if I had to pick one, that would be the one. I'm
taking my vote back. WrestleMania 3, Ricky Macho Man, greatest WrestleMania match of all time. That should be in there.
I'm not mad at it.
And again, I know Macho is unfortunately not with us, but let's just go down the list. Let's just start from the beginning. WrestleMania 3 was the first truly great WrestleMania match.
Correct. Yeah, Macho, Steamboat, big. The moment was Hogan, Andre, but the match, the night was
hell yeah.
Macho
Continental title, unbelievable.
Yeah. Let me ask you guys a question.
Go ahead.
Is it too early? Well, also relationships. We just said it. Sure. Like now that I thought about it, I don't know if it would happen just yet. But is it too early to put in Bianca Belair and
Sasha
Banks?
That ain't happening.
Is it too early?
It's not that it's too early. I mean, AJ Styles just retired and he's going in, so nothing's too early. But Bianca,
we got to get Sasha back in the E first.
Yeah, and with all due respect, great match, but like Ricky and Macho is. I mean, are we putting that on the same level?
No, Macho and Ricky goes above that, but Sasha and Bianca
was tremendous, and we'll get there one day. But they ain't putting no AEW guys in there. That's
true.
That's fair. That's fair. Once I thought about it, I was like,
so that excludes Jericho,
is just so big for me. That's all.
Christian.
I mean, for now, yeah.
Ari, I know you were very busy last week. Or first of all, the last month or so, you was out in Italy covering the Olympics.
Yeah.
And now you come back home, and I see you doing the press conference for Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano for their fight in May. And like the very next day or two, Ronda Rousey's at fucking AEW Revolution. Listen, she got in the ring. She pointed at Tony Storm. I'm reading now Tony Storm might be out for the entire year. I don't know what's going on. Maybe an injury. That's what I saw from Fightful about a half hour ago. But she got in the ring. They got separated. And now the big buzz was like, all right, is she all elite? Was it a one-off? Most did not think of her being present in a wrestling ring anytime soon. But Ariel, like, you were just talking to her in Carano one day, and then you turn around, she's in AEW. Like, what'd you make of that?
Didn't see it coming. Didn't see any of this coming, to be honest, because it seemed like towards the very end and post WWE run that she had a lot of just animosity, a lot of bad feelings towards WWE, towards MMA, towards the MMA fan base, towards the wrestling community. Like, it just seemed like a lot. And it felt like, to me, she had a long, very successful athletic career from judo to the Olympics to MMA to wrestling. And she just wants to be a mom and sail off into the sunset and has made enough money, and God bless. And so definitely didn't see an MMA comeback in the works. We started to see some videos of her training, and she looked to be like really into it and in shape, and you're like, oh shit, like, is something happening here? And then of course we find out something is happening here. We didn't really see any of that as far as wrestling is concerned, but it makes a lot of sense in multiple respects. Number one, I just don't think she's a TKO gal at this point. And so if she's coming back to wrestling, I don't think she's coming back to WWE, and she's certainly not coming back to WWE to promote a potential rival MMA brand like MVP would be on Netflix. Number two, if you look at the way this was handled and the things that Tony Khan said afterwards, like, there was no Ronda Rousey is all elite graphic. There was none of that. And so I feel like, oh, by the way, this is in her backyard. This was in LA. She didn't have to travel for it or anything like that. She lives in that region. Show up, maybe have a couple appearances between now and May 16th. That's when the fight is, in less than 2 months. And, you try to get some people on board to watch this fight. She is very invested in this fight. She's not going to wrestle before May 16th. That would be insane. Yeah. There's too much at stake here. She's invested in this. She's invested in going after the UFC and going after TKO And so she is probably trying to do everything in her power to get as many eyeballs on this fight. And so why not tap into the wrestling fan base? What's going to be very interesting to me is, like, do the wrestling fans want to support her right now? Do they feel like, she has said some things about them and they don't really want to back her? Do the MMA fans want to support her? We don't know the answers to any of these things, but I am happy that at the very least, this final chapter appears to be one where she's like not righting the wrong, so to speak, but her departure from UFC and MMA was very bitter and sour and unceremonious. And the same with her last run in WWE. So hopefully she can, end on a high note. She is a legend, trailblazer, pioneer, Hall of Famer, all that and more. And so she deserves to have that peace in her heart. And she also deserves to show up to a wrestling event or an MMA event and be showered with praise and love. And so I hope that this will help, gear us into that direction, as opposed to the way in which those 2 runs ended.
Yeah, because a lot of people were going after Ronda, and listen, I get it. Saying that, her second run with the E was terrible, and things that she might have said or done. It's like people will start bringing that back up, but I'm like, in real time, I'm like, okay, she's in AEW, the ring, she ain't wrestling, she just let it be. We have no idea if she's going to be wrestling or signed, whatever. Maybe it could be a one-off for all we know, just for the pop, and that's it. We have no idea. But I think a lot of people on social were really going after Ronda. And I was like, damn, like, yo, you gotta relax, man.
Well, I just think it got a little contentious there towards the end, and things were said, and maybe they didn't love the final run, and the final run didn't feel special. Like when she came in, it felt unique, it felt special, and then towards the end, it just felt like she was another person on the roster, and so that novelty had worn off, and that's okay. Like, at some point, like, Logan Paul's novelty is going to wear off to a degree, and is probably in the process of that, but he's still, seemingly very invested and whatnot. And so I compare her to him because he's someone who came in from a different world, and it was, wow, holy crap, he's in the WWE and doing well. So I think that if you're a fan of Ronda Rousey, you're a fan. If you're not, you're not. And the beauty of this MMA card is that there are other big names, Nate Diaz, Francis Ngannou, that you'll probably want to check out if you're an MMA fan. But I think what she's trying to do is get as many eyeballs as possible on this one particular event.
Yeah. T, what you got about Ronda at AEW last week?
I was as surprised as anyone else for all the reasons, right? Like, it was just like, wait, what? Listen, I'm an unapologetic Ronda fan. I'm unapologetic Ronda fan, man. I think, to your point, like, she's a trailblazer. I loved, how much of a badass she just was and is. Like, we don't got to talk about her like she's not still that person. That's who she is.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's like, outside of LeBron James, Father Time comes for everyone. Like, what I'm saying? So the sport caught up with her. She couldn't really dominate the way she could at one point. And that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, in terms of, like, UFC, and I don't know. I wish she didn't have such a sour taste, you know what I mean, with wrestling, because I feel like even if she would have just left and just kind of, like, trailed off into the sunset, instead of leaving and then, like, bashing it, it would have been different. But also, let's consider that it's wrestling, right? Like, when would any of us have expected Ultimate Warrior to make his return? Your guy, Randy.
True, yeah.
When would any of us have expected CM Punk to come back to the WWE after
even Bret Hart,
even Bret, who still hates the E, well, he comes back for everything.
Not a fan of Hunter.
I mean, fair. He doesn't right. Yeah. So it's like, I just feel like wrestling is one of those sports, or that you can never say never. You know what I'm saying? So I while I don't think she's gonna make a return, before the fight, I don't know. I think it depends on how that fight goes. Because my biggest thing is, I just don't want to see her, like, embarrass herself. She can lose, like, it is what it is, right? Like fight sports, right? Like, anyone can win, anyone can lose. I just felt like the last time it was just such a bad showing that, like, she was just embarrassed, right? So I just hope that this time it's just a good fight. And I feel like it's one of those things too, like in every sport, if you can show out, like, for whatever reason, fans tend to forgive you. You know what I mean? So if she comes back and she looks like any semblance of who she was in the past, even if she doesn't win, I can see her making a return, coming to AEW, giving them a little bit of a boost, particularly right now. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, some of their headlines haven't been so great in the past couple of days, from some wrestlers. So I feel like it would be like a good pendulum swing for them. So like, now we got Ronda. We're going to let her come in and right some of those wrongs. You know what I mean? Steer the show.
I agree. I want to circle back one quick thing about not so much about Rodman, but and Lauper. But I want to ask Ariel, like, there's been many celebrities who got into a pro wrestling ring and got involved, got scrappy. I'm hearing Tom Brady talking some shit about the E right now, but who would be like on your favorite 5 or top 3 best use of a celebrity in a pro wrestling ring? Who you feel like, out of all the ones, which ones really like stand out to you?
Does Logan count? Because like when he first came in, I was like, oh shit, like the guy looked like a natural. I was blown away by him. So obviously he's developed now into a mainstay, but like originally he was a celebrity coming in, right? And so he would be at the very top of the list. Bad Bunny would be at the very top of the list. I was blown away by him. Blown away by the 2 of them. Those were probably the 2 most recent ones. Floyd was all right. It was all right. It was nothing great. Lawrence Taylor was pretty cool back in the day as well.
Mike Tyson.
Well, yeah, he never wrestled though. So you're just saying appearance? Yeah, I mean, I was thinking of guys who went in the ring, and I was like, oh wow, that was unbelievable. But yes, Tyson showing up, with the whole DX thing with Austin and HBK was unbelievable. That was insane. What else? I mean, honestly, we were talking about Rodman and Malone just there. Like they had a nice little thing going as well with Jay Leno and all that. That was very surprising when it was all happening, especially with Jay getting involved too. So those are a few that comes to mind. I feel like I'm missing 1 or 2, but at the top, like I was blown away by Bad Bunny hitting the Canadian Destroyer and all that stuff. And then, and Logan was just like a revelation. He was unbelievable. Like to see how quickly he took to everything and his instincts out there. I really feel like he's probably the best in that regard, because it never felt to me, unless I'm missing, like, there was never like a great botch here or there. Like there was never a huge mistake. I give every single one of them a lot of credit. Jelly Roll was cool. Like I don't have any issues with any of them. It's always kind of fun. It's different. The Jackass match was a lot of fun too at WrestleMania a couple of years ago. Remember with Sami Zayn and Knoxville? That was great. So it's always a little, it's fun when there's a big show. McAfee, man. McAfee was amazing. McAfee surprised me a lot. I actually, if I'm going with 3 right now, it's Paul, Bunny, and McAfee. That's what I'm going with, in no particular order. Yeah,
you agree, T, or are we missing somebody?
I will say, in defense of Mike Tyson, he did punch my guy in the face. So you know what I mean. But
no, he was amazing. But I was thinking of people who like actually were in a match.
No, for sure. I'm just saying, like, realistically, realistically, unrealistically, if somebody gets punched in the face by prime Mike Tyson, and didn't die, shout out to my guy Shawn Michaels. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's got a history of getting punched in the face. But what I would say is there's one that I would say is missing, that I don't know if any of us were actually alive for, but I do know the lore of it is like historic, and that would be Andy Kaufman.
Oh yeah,
I would say like Andy Kaufman and Jerry Lawler back in the day. Like it just feels like that was like a years long feud. Like,
it was
that
amazing.
went on for so long
on Letterman and all that.
Table too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah, I was thinking like in the last like 30 years or so, but yes, I mean he might have been the first one to do something like that, and he was unbelievable. So 100% shout out to him.
Yeah, because I don't know if you guys heard or saw what Tom Brady said, which leads to WrestleMania. Like, all right, they're in Vegas. I know he's a minority owner or somewhat of a part owner of the Raiders.
Yeah.
But real quick, he said all their stuff is so cute and scripted, and they know what's going on in a football game. You don't know. There's no fake BS we do in American football. So that's Tom Brady saying that.
Yeah, they're very clearly building to something with Tom. Yeah. He's involved with Fanatics and all this stuff, and they're with Fanatics. Like, it's very, very obvious.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's cool. I'm curious to see what happens, but they're very obviously building to something. Logan versus Bad Bunny would have been sick when Logan said his little thing, but it doesn't seem like that's going to happen anytime soon. That would have been like the two best of the last 5-6 years coming together. But yeah, I don't know if Brady will actually take a bump or two, maybe, but just if he does get involved in any way, shape, or form, that would be a huge coup for WWE, no doubt about it.
It's probably got to be in whatever Logan Paul does. It could probably be that tag team championship match. Now, is he going to scrap? Probably not. He might interfere to some degree, support the Usos. We have no idea. But I think I like the pairing of him and with the Raiders in Vegas. But now it's like, what is he gonna do? What is Tom Brady going to do in the fucking ring at WrestleMania? Probably nothing.
Yo, if I'm booking it, I have Tom Brady throw a spiral at Logan Paul's face.
Yeah,
I'll like Steve Austin's like beer guy. Like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Football comes out of nowhere, like into the ring at WrestleMania and just pegs Logan Paul in the jaw, and then we cut to Tom Brady.
That's crazy.
Can you imagine the pop?
Oh yeah,
nah, it'll go crazy.
Yeah,
I would geek out for that. I don't even like Tom Brady, and I would geek out for that. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of Mania, Ariel, we're taping this on March 20th, so we're probably like a little less than a month away from WrestleMania 42 in Vegas. The two main events, you got Punk and Roman, you got Cody and Randy. Randy's a bad guy now. Roman and Punk are trying to figure some things out. But does it feel like WrestleMania season? Are you in the glory of it all with Mania being down the road in a month, or are you more like, let me just see, I'll wait and see what they're gonna do?
Feels like it's ramping up a little bit.
It's mid right now.
Yeah, like there isn't that big thing. I think we got pretty lucky over the last few years with obviously Cody and Roman twice, and The Rock's involvement, and some of those shows were just really, really good. Stone Cold coming back a few years ago. Yeah, like it feels like it's not quite there just yet. I do feel a little bit like going back to Vegas makes it feel a little bit like deja vu. There's not some of that local flair and all that. It doesn't feel like super unique, special. It's been a long time since they went back to back like that. COVID year aside. So I think Punk and Roman have been doing a great job, really building it up nicely. I think that is a proper main event. I have problem with it. In fact, I would just like to say that I love the fact that Punk is getting this, and to me, this is his first main event. I don't subscribe to that Saturday is your main eventing WrestleMania. No,
really, no,
absolutely not.
Wow.
The main event of WrestleMania is the Sunday night match. It's the culmination. The event is a 2-night thing. It's a 2-night event. They're not two separate entities. So last year, everyone getting all emotional, like it was great, good for him. I'm happy for him. Love the guy, but to me, this is what he has been striving for. He has been striving for Sunday night, close the show. That's it. It's over. And to do it against Roman is great. There's a great storyline there. There's a great backstory. This is it. This is the moment that he has been waiting for. And so I love that. Cody versus Randy is a fine Saturday night main event, but it ain't a Sunday main event, and it ain't the main event. It's a fine Saturday night closing of the show, but it's not the main event of WrestleMania, in my opinion. It's great. I'm not trying to hate on them, but to me, the main event is this thing where it's like these people main event. No, you didn't. If you wrestled last on Sunday, you're the main event. If you're wrestling on Saturday, you're not the main event, in my opinion, of WrestleMania. So I dig what they're doing. I think Obafemi and Brock is a great booking. I like that very much. That's exactly how Brock should be used in this day and age. Rhea and Jade, I think, is going to be really interesting as well. And I think it's coming together. To me, the biggest and most interesting, what are they going to do type of question is Gunther, because you put so much stock into this guy.
Yeah.
And I said very loudly in December, I hated the Cena retirement match. I hated the whole build. I hated the ending. I hated everything about it. And then you do something similar with AJ, obviously on a much lower level. And I said, all right, let's judge this in 3-4 months. In 3-4 months, when this guy is jobbing to Jey Uso, now you're going to tell me this did well. Now you're going to tell me this was the right call for the business. So Where are we at? It's WrestleMania, and where is he? What is he doing? What is he involved in? He's in either main event. This guy retired John Cena. He finished John Cena. He didn't submit him. He put him to sleep.
Yeah.
And as of March 20th, he doesn't have. Now he'll have a match. It'll be great. Everyone will love it. He's a pro. But don't you think that should have led to one of these big matches on these 2 nights? So
no, I agree. If he did not win the Rumble, or he wasn't even in the Chamber match, and the rumor was he was supposed to get Rey Mysterio, and Rey Mysterio got some cracked ribs. I'm hearing different rumors that Rey is hurt, but he's like not really trying to be in that kind of match with Gunther. Like
Dominic should retire Rey. I mean, it's like,
yeah,
what? Dominic should retire Rey.
And as of today, we don't know what Gunther is doing. T is a big fan of LA Knight. We don't know what LA Knight is doing at WrestleMania. A lot of holes need to be filled, but that's a great thing. We don't know what Gunther is doing. He retired Goldberg, AJ Styles, and John Cena, and there's nothing for him right now.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, that's silver platter stuff. He should have been on a rocket ship. And the aftermath of Cena was great. Him showing up and laughing at all of us and doing all this was great. But this was my trepidation. I was like, okay, what is this all for? I still believe Cena should have won that match. And I still believe having him go to sleep was absurd, was absolutely absurd. And, I'm like borderline annoyed that afterwards, I love John Cena. I think he's great. He's an all-time great. He's a legend, all this stuff. It's like, this is what I wanted. Guess what? Just because you wanted it doesn't mean it was right. Because like if I talk to a director of a movie that was sort of so-so that didn't hit the mark, this is the vision I wanted. Great, but your movie sucked. Like you don't get to decide if the movie was good or not. You could produce it, and then we decide as the audience if the movie was good or not. So just because you wanted it doesn't mean it was right. And I even question whether or not he wanted it. To have Mr. Never Say Die go out and not even fight it or anything like that, like just go to sleep, is one of the most shocking things that I've ever seen in pro wrestling. Really, truly. It wasn't the right call. And if it had to be like, oh, he can't then beat Gunther, great. But then you should have put him against someone else. Those people who paid all that money to be there in Washington, D.C. on a cold Saturday night deserve to see John Cena say goodbye the proper way, not the way in which he said goodbye. And if you were going to do that, all right, cool. My take was, let's see what happens in the next 6 to 8 months. And I don't feel like it was warranted based on what we're seeing from Gunther now, based on what they're doing with Gunther, I should say. I think Gunther is a freaking great. I love the guy. He'll always be Walter to me, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, T was there at that event. And one more, T, I promise you go next. What did you make of the Randy Orton heel turn on SmackDown last week? And do you feel like it should have been Cody? Should we be getting a heel Cody at some point in time, or this WrestleMania, or you think they're just holding on for dear life to not let him go to that dark side?
Nah, I'm cool with it. If one of them had to turn, I'm happy it was Randy. Fresh coat of paint. Too soon to turn. Have Cody like be that guy for a long time, and maybe down the line. It is way too soon in my opinion. I mean, he just got here, and I know it's been like 4 or 5 years, but like it still feels too fresh. So that would have felt like a hot shot in my opinion. Randy's the guy who's at the tail end. We haven't seen him as a heel in a long time. Feels almost more natural for him, to be honest, to be in that role. And so I thought that was the right call.
Yeah. All right, T, go ahead.
Yo, I mean, I appreciate the promo because that was amazing. You said a couple of things that I'm like,
I get passionate about this stuff, you know.
Yo, I mean, that's why we got you on. You know what I'm saying? Like, we love it. There's one thing you said in the beginning though that I gotta harp on real quick. I agree with you. Night 2's main event is the main event. We talk about this all the time because like in regards to like, well, where do you put the undisputed championship match? Because I'm always like, you can't not book that in the main event unless you don't for like maybe the women's title match. But I always feel like it's supposed to hold the most credence. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be the most important belt. So if you don't open with it, which you wouldn't, right? Like, how do you not put it as like Night 2's main event and expect us, the audience, to still look at that belt as the one that holds the most weight? That's always like a, a conversation and debate I have with the guys. We have a group chat called Nation of Conversation. You know what I'm saying? We text in. We always like, you know, like, is that right? You know what I mean? Like, we text and like ask that question. That's one thing. The second thing you said was I lost it real quick. What was the second part that you?
There was a lot that I said. Maybe about Gunther, about John.
Oh, the Gunther thing. Yes,
Gunther,
sorry.
Yes.
So I was there. To Randy's point, I was there. I was shocked. I was stressed, and I wasn't even mad about John losing. We know John. He's gonna do business. He wants to go out the right way. He's one of those guys. So I knew he was gonna lose in my heart of hearts. There was a slight chance, or a slight belief rather, like towards the end of like, yo, wait, are they gonna do this? But my thing was he should have just went to sleep. If you were gonna have him lose that way,
what? Going to sleep? Mr. Never Give Up is gonna go.
But
to
here's
sleep.
He did go to sleep. He didn't. Wait. That's my point though. If he was gonna lose that way to Gunther, him tapping is him giving up. Him being choked out on some Steve Austin, I passed out, and like I'm that tough that you have to take me out that way because I won't quit. I think that's the way they should have finished it if they were saying, hey, this is the way we're gonna do it. I wouldn't have wanted to see
worse, in my opinion. That's literally giving up.
Well, no, it's not. You couldn't give up because you passed out. Like you didn't give up. You were actually like unconscious. Like
you're saying you should just never have tapped.
Yeah, right. Basically. Like the tap is the part that I'm like, oh, I don't, because that's the actual like, yeah, I give up. The part that it would be on some like, remember like the match that we were talking about, Bret versus Austin. Austin was so tough that he would never actually say I quit. That's what built him, right? It was like I'd rather John have lost that way, where it's like, yeah, he would never quit, but he gave all he had. He had nothing left in the tank, and Gunther squeezed the life out of him, and that's how he went. I would have, if we had to do it one way, I would rather it have been that, like that. That answer your point, like
all this stuff about like this is how it should be in the business. Like, sorry, but this whole time-honored tradition is nonsense. Because guess what? In the 70s and 80s, the time-honored tradition wasn't to have a documentary where you tell us how the matches are made, and so the business has evolved. And I don't mind that. I love Unreal. It's great. I'm an old man. I love seeing, you know, how the sausage is made. But don't tell me that it's a time-honored tradition when the whole business is completely different. That version of the business does not exist anymore. Give the people what you want. I cover a sport called mixed martial arts and boxing as well, where there are a lot of retirement matches and they're very sad and the people don't get what they want. We just got one in the summer of 2025 where Dustin Poirier fought in New Orleans in his home state and he lost to Max Holloway, and it was heartbreaking because his family is there and he lost and he had to put his gloves in the middle of the ring and walk out. Guess what? They can actually give us what we want. They can actually deliver it to us. It's the only sport, if you will, that can do that. So give us, what is this fascination with not giving us what we want? Give us what we want. We want to see John Cena go off into the sunset and be a winner. Not whatever that was. Tap, no tap, give up, no give up. It was weird. The smile and all that. Like, what are you talking about, man? That was weird. Give us the victory.
Give us what we want.
Speaking of tradition and all that, you mentioned Cena. We've been mentioning Orton. Do you think they'll have Orton break Cena's championship record, or just he'll get close? He'll break Flair, he'll break Hunter, but he won't break John Cena. What would you do?
I'm okay with it. You know, I don't get really too hung up on that if I'm being 100% honest. You know, like those guys, like the guys you mentioned, the Flairs, the Cenas of the world, like I have them in a category here, and I have Randy like just here, like just a notch below. And that's there just has to be a ranking, right? But he's in like rarefied air. Obviously, what a career, what a run. And there was a time where maybe we thought like he would never amount to this because, you know, all the stories of him being crazy backstage and something like that. So I don't get too hung up on that. If we want to like have a hierarchy of sorts, maybe he falls just short. But, you know, I don't necessarily, you know, like I don't want to see Cody lose the belt. You know, I feel like it's moved around a lot. So wouldn't that be weird?
So you think Cody walks out Mania still champion?
If it were up to me, yeah.
I think he loses.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, but he just won the belt. It just seems so weird to do it so quickly, but I guess they had to get it off for whatever reason, Drew, and then now this. I like long title reigns. I'm a sucker for those. I feel like there's more of a story with Cody as champion, and I enjoyed him as champion. I had no issues with it, and but I can understand why you'd want to do it with Randy as well. So I'm not too like bothered by those records, so to speak.
If that don't happen, I think if Cody walks out Mania as champion, then you got Backlash after that. Maybe they'd run it back. Then maybe Orton wins at Backlash. But I could see Orton winning. But then again, that's back-to-back WrestleMania main events in Vegas that Cody goes 0-2. So it's like you don't know which direction they're going to go to. So I get your point, but it's like, hey, man, if Orton's striking hot, and everybody's he turned heel last week, but they were cheering for him. It's like no matter what they do with him,
because it's the nostalgia. Because he's like one of the. It's the same that happened with Cena. Like no one wants to boo those guys now, right? I think they would be more inclined to boo a Cody right now because it's like, all right, enough of you. But I still wouldn't do it, to be honest. And that's why it would have made more sense to turn Cena maybe 10 years ago as opposed to 2025. But I don't know. I feel like there's more invested in Cody right now as champ.
Yeah. Before T chimes in, I know we mentioned Bret. You're a big time Bret Hart fan. Favorite, right? That's your guy.
That's my guy of all time. Yep.
All right. So a friend of mine, Stat Guy Greg.
Oh yeah, my boy SGG
does the co-hosting of GP with Peter Rosenberg. I'm not sure if you saw this tweet from about Bret last week. He said, I can't say this enough. Bret Hart is the most important wrestler in the WWE history. He made HBK, he made Stone Cold, laid the groundwork for the Mr. McMahon character on and off screen, and saved Rock's job when people were actively lobbying to get him fired. What do you say about Bret being?
I love SGG. I love Bret Hart even more than SGG, with all due respect to Greg. I mean, like, Bret was my idol. But there's a little revisionist history in there. I mean, like, golly, we're giving him a lot of credit. Yeah.
I mean, he made points, though.
He laid the groundwork for Mr. McMahon. I mean, sure, unintentionally, but, like, they still had to turn that into a thing, and Vince had to take the ball and run with it. So, yeah, like, you want to give him credit for that? Sure. But I don't think he was doing that intentionally. So, like, can you really give him now you're getting me to crap on Bret, which is just an awful feeling. Yeah, I saw that tweet, and then I think he had a clip there of, like, Bret putting over Rocky Maivia.
Yeah.
Or like that was eons away from, the corporate Rock and the People's Champ and everything. It was like, there was like 5 years in between that clip and everything else that Rock had to do. Golly, because he said something for 20 seconds on a broadcast. We're going to give him credit for saving Rock's career. Listen, greatest of all time, excellence of execution, best there is, best there was, all that stuff. But he is my favorite, but like there's other guys who are very, very important, like, I don't know, maybe the dudes that took them out of the 83-week struggle and got them over. Bret didn't do that. You know what I mean? Bret didn't do that. WCW was kicking their ass, and it was Stone Cold and Vince and Taker and Kane and The Rock and these dudes, DX, that got them over the hump, that resurrected the company. You know what I mean? So again, I'm not trying to. He is my favorite. I adore the guy, but to say, what was the word? The most important. What did he say?
Bret Hart is the most important wrestler.
I don't even know how you judge importance. Like, what does that mean? What does important mean?
Influential, like your impact.
Do you agree with that?
I think he made valid points.
Is he the most important, influential, impactful wrestler of all time?
I think he's one of.
No. Is he the most?
People are going to say Hogan. People are going to say Stone Cold. People might say.
It's a great debate. It's
Cena,
a really cool topic. But yeah, I mean, just from like the business standpoint, if you just talk about impact and importance, the dudes who like got them over the hump, like Hogan helped get them over that hump in the early days. Rock and Stone Cold helped get them over that hump. Cena like carried the torch for, golly, what was it, 20 years or so. So he's up there. He's on my, bias aside, if I had to put a Mount Rushmore, he's on the Mount Rushmore. But I don't know about the number one. That's a tough one.
Yeah. Well, T's the big Shawn Michaels fan, so I don't know what he wants to
say
about.
He ain't that guy either. All right, he's below Bret.
First of all, he did win the Iron Man match. Let's start there.
Okay.
Secondly,
that's a fact. Which makes 30 years this month. It's crazy.
Nah, listen, I'm not gonna crap on Bret. Bret is also in my top like 5, so I love Bret too. Like, but I have actually had this argument, and with a friend of mine, because my friend kind of feels the same way. Because he's always arguing, and I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts, but he's always arguing that Bret actually started the Attitude Era because he was the one who cursed and like broke the not like, you know what I'm saying, like
yeah, in that ring with Vince
when he cut the promo on Vince. And I to your point, Ariel, I'm not sure if I give him that credit either, but it's like kinda, you know what I mean? Like yes and no. I don't know. What do you think?
So I understand that. So I'll tell you a story. Like I was a huge wrestling fan in the 80s, and then around 93, 94, just as I'm going into high school. So in Montreal, where I grew up, I was at the screw job, by the way. So I was there, but I'll tell you, like that's how it all gets resurrected for me. So around 93, 94 in Montreal, where I grew up, high school, there's no middle school. So high school starts 7th grade. And when I get to 7th grade, that's when I fall in love with the New York Knicks. Patrick Ewing, John Starks, that's my team. They're an incredible team. They're going to the finals. They're battling. And I stopped actually watching wrestling around this was 93, 94 wrestling was getting a little weird, right? It just wasn't great. And so from like 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, I'm really out of it. I don't know much. It's kind of like a big blind spot. Now I know everything that happened, obviously, but like I don't really know much. I'm not following it. I'm following really like baseball, basketball, football. And a friend of mine, Jason Tackman, says like, hey, Survivor Series is coming to Montreal in November. And we had never gotten a pay-per-view in Montreal or in Canada at that point, like a big one, like not like an In Your House or anything like that, like one of the big dogs, right? Certainly not in Montreal. And I was like, holy crap, Survivor Series, that's amazing. I always loved Survivor Series. Let's go. I didn't really know anything about the stories, the product. I remember going online and trying to read up a little bit, but I was very, very, very like unfamiliar. And I remember sitting there and being like, this is the WWF. It hadn't changed yet. This is the WWF. Like I couldn't believe all the signs. That wasn't a thing when I stopped watching. I couldn't believe like the oddities. I could look 1997. I'm 15. I couldn't believe Sable and Sunny. I was like, what is this? You know, like I'm a 15-year-old kid. Like I could not believe what it had turned into. So I felt like at that point, it was already kind of becoming the Attitude Era with all these things. Kane, Taker was a little bit edgy. And so I felt like those seeds, who like first dropped that seed, I don't know. I think you can make that case with Bret and all that. But to me, like the Attitude Era, like those were the embryonic stages of the Attitude Era. The Attitude Era, in my opinion, starts that night when he punches Vince McMahon. Like it starts that night. There's like there's like the BC and then the whatever. I don't know. I'm Jewish. I don't know the thing, but you get my point. So like that's the Attitude Era. That night he punches him. Vince shows up. The next week it says Bret screwed Bret. Attitude Era to me. If you want a day one, it's then. Everything built up to it, and they were on that train with everything that they were doing and how edgy it was getting. But that's when it really, if I had to pick, like, when does it really start? It starts when he punches him backstage.
Are you one of those people that feel like, because some have said it or feel it, they feel like the screw job was a work?
Fuck no. What? What are you doing? That's
some
crazy
people
shit.
said that, like, hey, maybe.
Yeah, some people say we didn't. Some people say the world is, the flat world that we live in, flat Earth. That we didn't walk on the moon and all that stuff.
The Earth is flat.
Yeah. Shout out to Kyrie.
That's right, Kyrie.
No, I don't believe that was. Have you seen Wrestling with Shadows?
I have, just not in a very long time.
Okay. If you were going to say you didn't see it, I was about to close my computer right here, because then I would have been
I remember seeing Vince walking out, getting punched, and the hunters in the hallway.
No. Have you, T? Is it T?
Yeah, Terrence. Yeah.
Terrence, have you seen Wrestling with Shadows?
Maybe.
Bruh, I'm giving you guys homework right now. All right. You have to see Wrestling with Shadows. It is a documentary that came out in the late 90s in which a Canadian documentary crew followed Bret Hart for the year leading up to the screw job. They had no idea how this story was going to turn out, and they had all access backstage. It's the most amazing wrestling documentary of all time. It's that and Beyond the Mat. Yeah. And they had the microphone on Bret when they're telling him, hey, it's going to end in a DQ. They're there backstage. They don't get the punch because they kicked them out of the locker room, but you see Vince leaving all disheveled. It's the greatest look at the wrestling business of all time. They have him getting the contract from Vince. Vince rescinding the contract, WCW giving it's if you're an HBK fan, he's in it a lot as the protagonist. You have to see that film, and it's I watch that movie, no joke, like once a year. It is amazing. It is so amazing. I adore that movie. To me, it's the greatest wrestling documentary of all time, and it's all about this topic. And if you watch it, there's just no way that it was a work. No way.
We got some homework, T. We got some
homework.
If I chime in on that real quick,
go ahead. Watch it, and I want a full review next episode. All right?
Oh yeah, that's a great segue because that's actually one of the questions I have for you, and now I know what your greatest sports doc or wrestling doc is.
Yep.
But I have a follow up to that though. Is what's the wrestling doc that we haven't got that you would love to see?
Ooh, that's a great one. Yeah, and it's that one and Beyond the Mat. I'm sure you guys have seen Beyond the Mat.
Because I've seen I feel like some of that footage was like interspliced. Maybe they bought because I've seen the clips you're talking about of like Bret, you know, like he's mic'd up and like you can hear the scuffle and like I know that scene.
You got to watch it. Start to finish is so good. Golly, what's the doc? Well, like the docs are great when they're following the guys, right? Like not so much after the fact. So it would be hard for me to say like, oh, you know, the Night Taker's streak ended or something like that because like they weren't following him per se. So it would have to be something now. Like let's say they knew, I don't know. Let's say they knew that Brock was retiring in Minnesota, you know, this summer, right? Like I think it would be awesome to follow him for the last year of his career and see what that's like, putting these guys over, the emotions, the feelings, like this is the end of his athletic career, if that's the case. Or let's say they knew Roman Reigns, like something like that, I feel like would make a lot of sense. But I love all that stuff. I love all. I just actually got, do you guys know David Sahadi?
Yeah.
I just bought his book. It's right over there. I haven't read it yet, but like all that, like, backstage stuff and like the making of and all that. That's why I love Unreal. I know that the old heads don't like it and like but like to me it's like I know what it is and I just love seeing the making of it. You know, it's just so much fun. So it's tough for me because like there's a million old stories that we could do, but to me the best type of doc would be one about like where you get that access building up to something. You know?
Yeah. I got a few more before I let both of you guys go. And I definitely appreciate both of you guys' time. We had myself and Graham Matthews, my other co-host, had Natty on back in December. We asked her, and I'll do a two-part for you. I asked her, give me your Mount Rushmore of Canadian wrestlers, but no Hart members.
Oh, geez.
So she gave me her 4. But for you, I'll say, give me your Mount Rushmore of Canadian wrestlers, but give me one that has the Harts involved and one that does not have any Hart involved.
Got it. Well, Bret, for the ones with the Harts, Bret, Owen. I'm just trying to rifle off the names in my head. You're putting me on the spot here. There's Jericho, obviously. The Benoit one is tough. You know, like the career was great. Obviously, the ending was tragic beyond belief. I keep thinking of the Rougeau brothers. They keep coming to mind right now.
The
Mountie legend. Jacques Rougeau, his brother Raymond Rougeau.
Yep.
Who else we got there? I mean,
I give you some names. I can tell you who she had.
Yeah, give me who she had.
She non-Hart was Edge Christian.
Of course, yeah.
Trish and Jericho.
For non-Harts, it's a tremendous list. Hard to argue with any of those names, to be honest. I'm going to steal her list, and then I'm going to go back to the Hart list, and I'm going to put I'll put Bret obviously and Owen, in my opinion, and man, Edge and Christian. Hard to beat that. Jericho's in there too. Damn. Yeah, fuck.
I mean, there's some newer people like Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. There's
not quite there yet.
Canadian. Who else is Canadian? Chelsea Green, but
but not quite there yet. Love them. They're great, but like still a little bit left in the tank, obviously. I know Edge and Christian are still doing their thing over in AEW, but like their real run was phenomenal. So yeah, I'll probably lean in that direction. Maybe you could probably put Jericho in there instead of Christian if you had to, unless I can go with a 5 there. But yeah, those.
You know what? For you, Ariel, we'll do basketball.
That.
Starting five.
Oh, starting five. Okay, there's my starting five right there. That's the five. Yeah.
So Bret, Owen,
Edge, Christian, and Jericho.
Okay.
I gotta be honest. I feel like I'm like missing best. This is gonna bother me. Best.
Would
Canadian.
anybody put Natty? Would she go in the list?
Yeah, hell yeah, she would go on the list.
Yeah, definitely.
Man,
we got Ariel doing some homework now.
Yeah. Oh, Roddy Piper is sort of considered. Fuck, if Roddy Piper is considered,
Portland legend, by the way.
Yeah, I think he was born in Canada, but doesn't like associate with Canada.
Yeah.
I mean, Stu obviously is tough, man. It's really tough. Shout out to Iron Mike Sharp, legend.
Anvil? You put the Anvil on there? Was he Canadian?
So he wasn't Canadian. He married into a Canadian family, but wasn't born in the Great White North. So I feel pretty at peace with all of that. I feel at peace with that with that list.
No Trish
in the 5.
Yeah.
So you're trying to get me to hate on all the people I like, man. You're trying to get me to hate on them.
No, I'm giving you all the options, so you can't say, "Damn."
Yo, shout out to Dino Bravo. Loved him back in the day. He was
Dino
great.
Bravo.
Remember Dino Bravo?
Throwback. Hell yeah, Dino Bravo.
Hell yeah.
The blonde hair and the blue tights, the sky blue tights.
Yes. You ever see Dark Side of the Ring for Dino Bravo?
Yeah.
Incredible. That was a Pat Patterson, of course. Oh, shout out to Lance Storm. Lance Storm was a legend. Love Lance Storm. He was great. Team Canada.
That's right.
The mid-card legend. Love him.
Wow. What's up with that? Mid-card legend is crazy.
Yeah. That's crazy.
You gotta. Okay, I gotta say this real quick as we're talking about it. Just
Rick Martel. Shout out to Rick Martel too. My bad. All right.
The model.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with being a mid-card. People, I know it's used as to say like, oh, you're like not the top guy, but not everybody's gonna be the top guy. And you know what? The middle of the card is where the show is. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to be able to carry it and make us still care about this. So. Sure. I personally shout out to all the mid-card legends, including Lance.
Oh, 100%. But no one strives to be a mid-carder. No one says, like, my goal is to be a mid-carder. You just kind of fall there.
But he wasn't, like, an incredible headliner. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yo, he had a good run in WCW. Good run in ECW as well.
ECW. That's my favorite Lance.
ECW, but, like, even when he went into WCW, like, they pushed him hard and, Team Canada and all that. So,
yeah. Shout out to legend.
Shout out.
I got 2 more. Real quick, today we're doing this on March 20th. It is the 32nd anniversary of WrestleMania 10. Sean Razor, your guy Bret and Yoko in the main event. The Garden, New York City. Just want to point it out there. 32nd anniversary for WrestleMania 10 today.
That is crazy. So what would that be? 1994, right? That was right. Yeah. That was like one of my last memories before I kind of fell off a little bit. Yeah. But I remember Bret and Owen being such a big deal, and I remember obviously Bret wrestling twice on the same night, and then the ladder match, of course, and I loved MSG obviously. So like anytime MSG was featured was cool. So yeah, no, like one of the all-time greats, like Bret versus Owen was so damn cool and so damn unique, and everything that every brother versus brother angle wishes it could be. Unfortunately, Jay versus Jimmy wasn't that at a WrestleMania a couple of years ago. Love those guys, but it was so special. So and sometimes it just doesn't work out because they know each other so well. I don't know what it is, but just shows how great Bret and Owen truly were.
Yeah. My last one. I know you guys got to run. Just listen, shout you out, man. We've been fans of you for quite some time.
Thank you.
We love all your interviews, whether you're doing UFC, the AEW. You really asked the questions that need to be asked. But I want to kind of put this in one question. Like just describe like the interview style, whether it don't matter who you're interviewing. Just making it feel comfortable, vulnerable to kind of share the story. Like what are the Ariel Helwani guidelines of like doing and
yeah, that's a great question. I appreciate it very much. I grew up listening and admiring and trying to emulate some of the greats. I grew up. I always used to say that I thought Howard Stern was the best interviewer. I know he gets a lot of attention for like the hijinks and all that stuff, but the way he made people feel so uncomfortable and got them to talk about things that maybe they didn't want to talk about was so impressive in my opinion. And so one of the keys for me is like when you come into my studio and we're talking, especially face to face, it's different. Like I want to be fully engaged in your story. I want to be well prepared, number one, and I want to be fully engaged. So I'm not looking at notes. I'm not looking at my computer or anything like that. Like we are locking eyes for an hour. And yeah, I want you to feel uncomfortable. I want you to forget that there's a camera there, and I'm going to be very, very respectful. I'm going to listen. Listening is very important. It's something that's not done a lot in interviews. I'm going to ask proper follow-ups. I'm going to be empathetic. I'm going to try to like open my mind and heart to what you're saying. I like to lean in. I like for you to feel like I am fully locked in. There's nothing else that matters in my life than this conversation right here. And obviously when you're well prepared, when you're ready to ask follow-ups and be well researched, then you can get to some places. But ultimately, I want the interview to feel more like a conversation. Like we just met up at a coffee shop and we are now flowing right now. And the time will go like this. And I'll have like certain things that I want to touch on, but I have no questions in front of me. I have no sheet, no list or anything like that. So that's really important for me. I love doing it. And if I could do it until I'm, old and gray, I'll be very, very happy.
So you got no sheet, no notes, no bullet points. It just right off.
Yeah. So like I do my research and I listen to old interviews and I do all that stuff, but there are no questions in front of me whatsoever.
Wow.
Love it. Randy, I got to follow up.
Go ahead.
On that note, right? Obviously, a huge, long mega list of incredible interviews. Who's the wrestler that you would like you haven't gotten? Like, what's the interview with a wrestler that you would still love to do?
Yeah. So I've been very lucky with the wrestlers. I've gone to interview a lot of the big names and people that I've admired. I've never interviewed John Cena. I've never had the chance, and I would love to interview John. I don't know if my take on his retirement match will hurt my chances or not, but he doesn't seem like that kind of guy. I think he would actually be open to the conversation. Other than that, man, I've been super lucky. Like from Roman, Paul, I can interview Paul Heyman every single day for the rest of my life and never get bored. To Mysterio, to Orton, to Cody. Yeah, I've never interviewed Trish. That would be a great one. I did get Edge and Christian like a long time ago. I got Jericho a while ago as well. So those are some, but like at the top, like first name that came to mind as far as like the greats, I've had Hogan, Ric Flair, a lot of legends over the past year, which was great. Goldberg, but I've never interviewed John Cena, so that would probably be at the top of the list.
So John's the North Star for you. That's the guy.
Yeah, I don't know North Star or not, but like if you told me today, like, like who haven't you talked to that you would love to? I'd love to interview him. He just comes across as a very like thoughtful, smart, just warm person, and I mean, like, what a career, right? So that would be a huge thrill.
My last one, Area. I don't know. I know you on social, but I don't know if you really see it. But I see the clip of you and Roman damn near.
Oh,
once a month.
Which one?
The one where he says, I'm paraphrasing, you might want something, but the grass is not greener on the other side. And it's like the fans are saying, we had it good when Roman was the champion. Now everybody wanted Cody and you got it, but it's like, now what? So at that time he was saying, you might want but when that happens, don't start complaining. But that clip goes viral every month. Yeah,
I don't see that. But I love talking to Roman. He gave me some good stuff when Punk like showed up at AEW early on, and he's very thoughtful as well. I interviewed him in LA on night 1 when he was going up against Cody. Night 2, the first time, and like. I think he thought I was a Cody guy or something, so he gave me some shit, but it was so much fun to get that shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because he was like half in, half out a character with Heyman there staring me down. Yeah, he's unbelievable. Talk about aura. Like that dude has aura, right? Like it's amazing. It's really amazing. So I didn't know that, but I'm glad to hear it.
Does he walk out WrestleMania, new World Heavyweight Champion, or does Phil walk out? Last question.
I'll say Punk retains.
I'm 50-50, but I feel like there's a world where I could see Punk leave the champion. I think Roman does not walk out champion.
Yeah, no, I'm into that match. I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
I'm throwing some respect on my tribal chief real quick.
Yeah. Shout out.
And I'm definitely saying Roman walks out with that gold.
Okay.
T, any final ones for Ariel before we get out of here?
Just thank you for coming on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we've been long-term fans. You know, we're happy we could like make this happen. And you know, fans of your work, and appreciate you just being a fan with us. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, man.
Like that's what we love to do on this show, is just make sure everybody just has a good time. We talk about stuff that we love today, stuff that we love from the past that made us fans in the first place. And so, you know, happy to have you, man. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it very much.
I did forget one. Are you more excited for Floyd and Tyson or Floyd Manny?
I don't think I don't think Floyd Tyson's going to happen, to be honest. Or like, I don't think it's going to be a real, like Floyd Manny is an actual pro fight.
Okay.
So like that goes on Floyd's record. So yeah, Floyd Manny at the Sphere is way more interesting to me. Like I don't think Mike should be fighting at this point.
So Floyd Tyson, like what, like an exhibition, just
if that. But they already said April 25th, and now we're hearing like I spoke to Tyson last week. His hand was in a cast, so I don't know about that.
No. Ariel Helwani, host of the Ariel Helwani Show, Uncrowned, Yahoo Sports. Thank you, man. We really appreciate it. Tap into all of what we got going on. YouTube.com/Cruise Control Podcast. Find the podcast on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, also on Amazon Music. Follow Ariel on all social media platforms at Ariel Helwani. Our boy Terrence Watson at Lower East Scribe. Myself, Randy J. Cruz, RENDY, letter JCRUZ. And I'll leave with this. Terrence is the story producer of a recent documentary you can find on Amazon Prime now about the McDonald's All-American game. So,
sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing, man. Well done.
Yeah. So go ahead. I haven't seen it yet, but I am going to soon. But go ahead, check it out. It's brand new, Amazon Prime, called Meal Ticket. Amazing.
Shout out to you.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Man, I got you one more viewer. I got the big time viewer. Fellas, man, thank you, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Please.